Hello and welcome to Castle Combe in Wiltshire for meeting 4 of the 2015 Honda VTEC Challenge in association with Toyo Tyres. The high-speed circuit will really give these guys a chance to stretch their legs, so it's going to be a hugely enjoyable weekend for all. So far, the weather has been kind, but it's starting to cloud over as we approach the races. Hand you over now to Richard to talk you through race 1.
Thanks very much, Andy. Pole position goes to Mark Kemp from Robert Birkinshaw. He's the tuner pole. Then it's Matthew Walker and Dan Ludlow. Phil Wright on the production pole ahead of Martin Kemp, then Stuart King, Matthew Lee, Neil Holden, Will Watkin, Lucas Beale, followed by Peter Venn, then Paula Webb, Darren Smee, Peter Dunmore, Craig Smith and Tony Markham complete the Toyo Tyres Honda VTEC Challenge grid. They're sharing, as you can see, with the Smarts, such as the grid capacity here at Castle Combe. We're in car with Matt Walker and a great start from the outside. Dan Ludlow back in the championship. First time we've seen him since 2013. In car with Phil Wright, the pole position man in the production class. Phil Wright shared them with Stuart King, those pole positions over the course of the season so far. Rob Birkinshaw, who's got away in lead position, has once again annexed the tuner class pole position. So 4 out of 4. Started the season so well at Silverstone, pole at Rockingham, pole at Snet, pole here at Castle Combe. Neil Holden goes past Daz Smee. Neil's third meeting of the season thus far hasn't finished off the podium in the production class, so one of our star drivers. But Rob Birkinshaw coming under pressure from Mark Kemp. Kemp in the Super Tuner car, so the double winner from Snetterton piling the pressure on. Remember, it's of course about an overall win for tuner and super tuners and productions. They all want to take the overall win, but effectively the driver's going to be looking at where they finish in class. So coming through towards the end of the first lap, look at the quaint little entrance here. If you haven't seen Castle Combe before, that's the entrance into the pit lane. Come through Camp Corner and then to the start-finish line, past the Strawford Centre, down in towards Folly. This the view from Matt Walker, chasing hard, and it's Dan Ludlow in front of him. So Walker in the tuner class, Dan Ludlow in the super tuner, so we would expect him to be out front. And now Mark Kemp's got through into the lead. Rob Birkinshaw down to P2, but leading class once again. Birkinshaw unbeaten in class all season, had a retirement at Snetterton in the first of our 2 races there. But having a good season so far. Mark Kemp starting to pull away. You can see 3rd, 4th and 5th place in behind. So at this early stage, not too much space developing between these guys, but the super tuner of Mark Kemp is away. Dan Ludlow's super tuner, the 3rd car in class, is Martin Kemp. And Martin, of course, had pole at Snetterton. And indeed at Rockingham as well. Peter Venn taking pole position at Silverstone. Good to see Peter Venn back with us this weekend as well. But car, I don't think running as well as he would like. Now this, of course, the spiritual home for the championship, or the series I should say, or the challenge as we call it, because Honda's UK base at Swindon, just up the road. Matthew Walker still piling the pressure on the car up front. Dan Ludlow still holding on to that 3rd place. Ludlow comes from Swindon, so no excuse for not turning out at this race meeting, but a really good scrap between himself and Matt Walker at the moment. This is the view from Walker once again, closes up, coming into the chicane. Those chicanes absolutely vital for safety here at Castle Combe these days. That was the first of the chicanes, the S's. They go through Old Paddock Bend, down through Hammerdown, then down to Tower Corner. So this is Hammerdown looking down to Tower, and then we'll see him head towards Bobby's, which is the 2nd chicane, then out to Westway. This is the scrap for 3rd place. So we've got Mark Kemp leading from Rob Birkinshaw, super tuner from tuner, then we've got super tuner and tuner again, 3rd and 4th on the road. I think there are going to be some time penalties applied, because we're being told that track limits are being contravened once again here. This has happened a lot during this meeting and indeed through the course of the season here at Combe. A little bit of a frustration for the drivers, but we're going to watch the action on track as it unfolds. This is a cracking scrap for 3rd place, and again Matt Walker tries to have a look up the inside, can't do anything about the 3rd place car, and Dan Ludlow, who qualified 4th, second in class, still maintains position. Walker's got more of a run here. Let's see whether he can close up as they head through Quarry. And we've got waved yellows there, I think just being withdrawn. So whatever the problem was there, it's been cleared. But there was a waved yellow in the distance, and the drivers will catch sight of that. And of course the idea is that you race right up to the yellows and then maybe back off. You can see the some of the slower cars in the other Formula racing here starting to be caught by the race leaders, so that's going to be a little bit of an issue for those. But still focusing on Dan Ludlow up front from the number 10. Matt Walker comes from Monmouthshire, so again a relatively home race for him. And he has a look at the inside line, just not quite anything doing there, but really having a very, very good go indeed. So out of Bobby's, down through Westway, the Dean Straight, and then at Camp Corner where we are now, negotiating the back marker traffic well. And the 77 car, Dan Ludlow, well, we're being told that he's going to get some penalties for track limits, which is a shame, but we can still enjoy the race. Here we go in car with Phil Wright, who is once again in lead position in the production class, retired in race 2 at Silverstone, second place in race 1 at Snett, and he's on his way perhaps here for another win. A great shot of him working the controls and working hard. There is Wright, the black car with the Pink Panther livery on up ahead of Martin Kemp. Kemp in the Super Tuner machine and running well. Here's Rob Birkinshaw in second position, having a little bit of a lonely race of it at the moment. Mark Kemp is away and down the road, heading for another win. Cracking scrap though we've got on for that third place. Here is Phil Wright in 31, still running well. Now average speeds around here, which when you consider that we have two chicanes to do the job of slowing the cars down, are just shy of 90 miles an hour average here. So it's a very, very quick circuit. Here comes Mark Kemp, who, having got back into the lead after a relatively slow start, dealing with the back marker traffic. It's a little bit of a job for the back markers when you get into the chicanes, because in the chicanes you've got right, left, right, and where do you place the car if you've got these faster machines coming through on those? So a little bit of a difficult call for those, but the guy's not interfering with the championship at all. And the race leader, Mark Kemp's going to make it 3 outright wins in the challenge on the bounce here. Very much clear at the moment. And working his way through. Again, some of the slower cars are past. Heading down into Bobby's for the last time of asking here in this first of 2 races from Castle Combe. And then, so from Bobby's through Westway, down Dean Straight. This is Camp Corner, the last corner on the lap. And Mark Kemp is going to see the checker, which will be waved now. There it is on the start-finish gantry. So it's Mark Kemp that takes the win. We'll have a look at the positions with those timing penalties imposed for several drivers. Through in second place goes Rob Birkinshaw. Matthew Walker comes home third. Phil Wright wins the productions in fourth place. Second in production is Matthew Lee. Then Daniel Ludlow down to 6, but second in Super Tuner. Then Neil Holden, Will Watkin, Lucas Beale 9th from Craig Smith and Daz Smee. Peter Dunmore 12th from Tony Markham, and Paula Webb in 14th.
So Mark Kemp, congratulations, victory in race 1 here at Castle Combe. How did it go?
It went great. It was a bad start as always. Thought I nearly jumped the start, but held back and then had to make my place up and just led the race then, and fairly comfy out in the lead for me.
And the car was behaving itself presumably for the duration of the race for you?
Yeah, we had a small issue in qualifying where we broke a drive shaft, so it was always in the back of my head. That was an issue, so it's just been a bit gentle in places on the car, but other than that, the car was great.
And of course, when you've got a big lead towards the end of the race, you start hearing all those little knocks and bangs, don't you?
Oh, definitely, and it was catching up the slower cars then and lapping them, and so it made it quite interesting towards the end of the race.
Thoughts for race 2 then, the double on the cards?
Obviously that's what I'm trying to achieve, but who knows, the car's set up, everything's the same as it was yesterday. Just going to go out there and enjoy myself.
Rob Birkinshaw, second place in the first race. Little bit of a lonely race for you.
Yeah, I had a lonely race in second. There were a couple nearly jump start. I got a good start into the lead, but a lap or so later ended up second. Pretty much on my own to second, actually, yeah.
Mark is quite a bit quicker, it seems, around here. He's really got to grips with the Castle Combe. What's going to take to close that gap a little bit?
Yeah, it sure suits his car here. Done a little tweak to suspension, so just see what we can do, yeah. But we'll be trying.
How much can you do setup-wise with these cars to try and adjust for the conditions in the circuit?
It's more to just to be comfortable with the car, really. It's a bit of a compromise for the high speed stuff and then the bumpy bit past the pits and etc. So, but yeah, there's not a lot you can do really, just setup-wise, yeah.
Real driver circuit though, isn't it? Very high speed, not much runoff area, a bit daunting, I'd imagine.
It is, yeah. Yes, there's not many circuits like this. Despite it technically looking like a circle, it is challenging, yeah, very challenging. Yeah.
All right, well, congratulations on second place. Good luck for race 2.
Cheers, thank you.
So, car number 10, Matt Walker, third place in race 1. Congratulations.
Pretty well, it was an awesome race, probably the best race I've ever driven in. Dan is just such a good driver. It's an excellent battle from start to finish. Just smile from ear to ear all the way.
It's great to see drivers really enjoying their racing, and that seems to be a feature of this series.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a great paddock atmosphere, and to be honest, with driving standards to me seem pretty high. Like, you know, there's no bashing about, and you know, it's a brilliant series to be in.
So here with Mike Stokes then from Mike Stokes Motorsport. You're here with the Honda VTEC Challenge, Toyo Tyres Honda VTEC Challenge. Great to be part of such a friendly and welcoming series, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes. We've been involved for the last 2 years and we're very proud to say that Honda VTECs are one of our major series.
And just tell me a little bit more about how this came to be and the connection between you and the series.
Well, the connection's via Toyo. We look after many of their series that they sponsor. We've been doing that now for about the last 10 years, and we're seen as a motorsport specialist by Toyo.
With the grid based on the results of race 1, Mark Kemp assumes pole position with Rob Birkinshaw tuner pole. He's alongside on the front row. Row 2, Matthew Walker with the production poleman Phil Wright, and the third row, Matthew Lee with Daniel Ludlow lining up 6th. Then it's Neil Holden and Will Watkin. The light sequence has commenced. 5 lights on now. The lights go out and it looks like a problem for the pole position man. Martin Kemp has stalled. That could have been very nasty because everybody could have piled into him. He's limping away to the infield. This the view from Matt Walker. Lucas Beale on the inside in car number 4. Great piece of racing between those two. So we've definitely lost the race 1 winner in the Super Tuner Honda Civic Type R, the ex-British Touring Car Championship machine, out of the race as we look back from Stuart King, who non-finished in race number 1, and he's making very good progress already in the mix and up amongst the some of the fast production runners. Neil Holden, the man that we were looking at there in red, but it's Rob Birkinshaw that leads the race. Daniel Ludlow second. Phil Wright is next up, followed by Matthew Lee in 99. So Lee and Wright dicing over the production class honours, and Matthew Lee looking pretty sharp at the moment. So the cars come out of Bobby's, that group of cars, the race leaders already through camp. And are we going to see a change of position here? Matthew Lee dives to the inside line. Oh, and runs a little bit wide. You see the extra momentum you have to carry into the corner to make a move, and that carried itself through on the exit of the corner. Matthew Lee loses a little bit of ground, and Matt Walker's getting in on the action now as well. It's going to take Lee, I suspect, a little bit of this lap to just recompose himself and get back into the mix. There's Matthew Walker, the white car with the blue wheels, back up front, but Matthew Lee again running a little bit wide there. He's using all the track and more. He's going to have to be mindful of the track limits penalties. I've got to say, in these early laps, everybody seems to have adjusted to the decisions made in race number 1. We had quite a lot of cars in race number 1, particularly from the Honda VTEC guys, who admittedly, inadvertently, just strayed over the limits of the circuit, and the officials are very hot on it, and once or twice they'll be okay with. The drivers will get a general warning, and then if it carries on, the penalties come out. But everybody so far okay on the track limits in this one, and it's a cracking race in prospect. Rob Birkinshaw the leader, through goes Dan Ludlow. Look at this though, side by side action. Matthew Walker on the inside. This is Phil Wright. Walker, of course, running in the tuner class, chasing Rob Birkinshaw. Through goes Dan Ludlow, the first of the super tuner cars. So they're all settling into their race rhythm here at Castle Combe for what is our 8th race of the season, and we're at Brands Hatch next time, and hope that you'll be able to join us there. Now, as you can see, spits and spots on the camera lens. The car's still averaging, getting up towards 90 miles per hour as Daz Smee goes through shot here at Castle Combe. And Rob Birkinshaw running well, looking for his 3rd outright win of the year. And as we mentioned in race number 1, he's got an unblemished record apart from the retirement in race 1 at Snetterton on the 28th of June. There's Matthew Walker, 2nd meeting of the season in the challenge for him, and 3 second places thus far for Walker in the tuner class. So chasing hard, doing all that he can to stay in touch with the race leader Rob Birkinshaw. Phil Wright goes through in black. The blue and white car, Stuart King, lights ablaze. He's gone out of shot as we look at Will Watkin in number 100, one of the ever-presents in the series so far this year. Had a number of good podium finishes, Will Watkin, in the tuner class. Number 100, the Civic Type R. Here is Lucas Beale, 3rd meeting on the bounce for him with us. Runs a little bit wide, and Watkins going to have a pump up the inside. You can see both of those guys carrying the new driver insignia on the back of the car. This is a great champion, great challenge for new drivers to come in and learn their racecraft. You don't have to have competed in anything before. We've got a number of drivers with previous race experience. We've got drivers that have come through the likes of time attack and sprinting and things like that, but you don't need that experience to come in and race in the Toyo Tyres Honda VTEC Challenge. Big lock up on the brakes there, and I think a problem as we go back to Dan Ludlow, who is still leading the Super Tuner category, and you can see we're getting into back marker traffic once again. Rob Birkinshaw still the race leader. So Ludlow goes through shot, and this is the view from Matt Walker. So Matt 3rd position at the moment, Dan Ludlow is 2nd, and these two were hard at it all the way through race number 1. Eventually the decision being remedied or fixed, shall we say, or decided is the word I'm looking for, by the time penalty handed out to Dan Ludlow, but neither of the guys, I don't think, attracting the attention of the officials here, and this is a straight fight between the two of them. Matt Walker, who's in the tuner class, 1820cc to 3 litre, you are allowed engine swaps and modifications in those, and look at Walker trying everything that he can to try and get past, keeping it tighter, going into the chicane, losing a little bit of ground on the way through. Got Phil Wright and Matthew Lee who are behind, and Lee seems to have got himself back on the case of Wright. Cracking racing going on here in the challenge, so we'll maybe pick up on this battle as it comes across the line. So there is Phil Wright in the 31, and then Matthew Lee in the 99 goes through. And is he going to hang on to it this time? Yes, he has. He's gone through. Matthew Lee, terrific move. So Phil Wright has lost out here in the 31. What a very, very competitive category the the production class is. Well, all three have produced some great racing over the course of the season so far. And Walker again having a look up the inside. Dan Ludlow holds on to position, and Matt Walker here is all over the back of him, and the leading Super Tuner car really coming under pressure. Martin Kemp still running in Super Tuner as well, and now Walker's going to try and come through. He's got the outside line here. Is he going to hold this into the next corner? He read that he's got the advantage. to come through and take it. He's got it. Fantastic stuff, but now fighting back. Dan Ludlow wants second position back. We'll look into the distance. You can see Rob Birkinshaw, who's got a massive lead at the moment. So Birkinshaw maintains the race lead. Matthew Walker up into second place. Now there's Daniel Ludlow. He's the leading Super Tuner, and there's the leading production runner, Matthew Lee, with behind him the black car of the Pink Panther, Phil Wright, who's running second in the productions. But Robert Birkinshaw, fastest lap of the race, 87 miles per hour. And sadly, a blow-up for Tony Markham in the 15. That's a shame. So Tony Markham is out of the race. First retirement of the year for him. Paula Webb there in the 66. Lady Racer running well as Rob Birkinshaw goes past Paula onto his 12th lap here at Castle Combe. He's got a very good lead. It's over 15 seconds at this stage, and he's going to take the tuner class from Matthew Walker. Dan Ludlow's going to win Super Tuner. He's going to be third overall, but Birkinshaw's done everything here. Had a great start, aided a little bit of course by the demise of Mark Kemp on the line, and Mark will be back. We know he's a fighter, and he'll have that car prepared for future events in the Toyo Tyres Honda VTEC Challenge. But Robert Birkinshaw will come across the line now in the 39 to take his third outright win of the year. Oh, and contact! Phil Wright goes off. He was trying to pass Matthew Lee. Is he going to cross the line on the grass? Well, he does get the finish. Birkinshaw takes the win from Walker. Ludlow wins Super Tuner. Matthew Lee wins production from Phil Wright. Then Stuart King, Will Watkin, Neil Holden in 8th from Martin Kemp. Lucas Bill next from Darren Smead. Then it was Peter Dunmore and Paula Webb in 13th.
Rob Birkinshaw then, winner of race 2 here at Castle Combe. Bit of a surprise win, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise. I think Mark had some start issues with the drive shaft gone, but obviously I didn't know, so I'd get my foot down big time because we knew we'd be cutting through the field if he was still running. So surprise win, but yeah, we'll take that.
Matt Walker then, 3rd place in race 1, 2nd place in race 2. How did that one go for you?
Superb. Once again, an awesome battle with Dan. Such talented man, and it was a pleasure to battle with him.
Dan Ludlow, 3rd place here in race 2 at Castle Combe. Congratulations on the podium.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a very exciting race. Got a cracking start. I think that Mark Kemp might have stalled on the start line, so I've been told. I never really saw him. I think I held 2nd position for 2 or 3 laps. Matt Walker got past me. Very quick car, quick driver. Didn't really have much of a chance of catching him again, and just sort of maintained position.
Well, that just about rounds things out here at Castle Combe. I think you'll agree we've had a fantastic day's racing, some fantastic weather to enjoy as well. Look forward to seeing more of the same next time out.